Hey everybody, how's it going? It's the Crystal Flaffy, and today, in the Is This Astromon Good series, we're gonna talk about Nezha. There's no reason for it other than she's one of my favorite mons. And whenever next Super Evil Mon comes around, I do hope it's Nezha. She is amazing. And waifu. That's why. It's mainly because of waifu. That's the reason. That's the video. Okay, let's actually just go into this now. Um, Before we get started, I do have all the Nezha, and I did build them, though, well, I'm working on building wood right now. I did have water built before, but I no longer use her. Not because she's bad. I'll get into that when I show them off later. But anyway, here's fire. There's the Evo 1 and the Evo 2 and the Evo 3. Super waifu right here. Okay, and there's the variant. I do really love variant fire Nezha. She looks so good. The colors are just amazing. But anyway, let's get into the stats. So she's a tank. She has pretty good HP. Pretty close to 40, no, yeah, 40k. Her attack is good, but not necessary because she's not meant to be doing damage. And her defense, it leaves a little to be desired. It'd be nicer if her defense was higher, but it's okay. It's okay. Anyway, let's look at her skills. First off, we have the leader skill. So, Protector Shield increases allies' HP by 30 to 35%, and it's general use, like any content, which is really good. We loved that, you know. On her 3-star, she has attack down, 70% 2 turns. Skill books bring it up to 80% and give a 20% damage boost. And her 5-star is defense down 70% 3 turns, which is amazing. And then to top it off, skill books bring it up to 80% and give a 20% damage boost. 3-turn debuffs are always amazing. And if you've watched my previous videos just going off the skills and the stats, you should hopefully know that this means that she's a really good debuffer for Titans based on her skills and her stats. So that's where you're gonna want to use her. Titans specifically against the Wood Titan is best, of course, though she does serve use as a debuffer for Light and Dark as well, if you need one there. And then her leader skill is also very helpful there. How I would build her: HP defense or HP defense. HP defense might actually be better for her, just because her HP is decent and her defense is kind of low, so it needs a bit more investment. And then also it'd make her easier to be healed from your healers, so that's very nice. I do use one for my Fire Titan team, and she's very helpful there, specifically because the attack down is on her 3-star. I feel attack down on 3-star is sometimes better, just because you're more likely to get it, because defense down isn't super necessary for making your mon survive. Like, if there's a turn where you don't get attack down, you're probably going to die. But if there's a turn you don't get defense down, you're going to do a bit less damage, but you'll live the turn, so you'll do more next turn, you know? So just because she has it on a 3-star, she's more likely to get it, which is really good. And then her defense down being 3 turns is amazing. It's really good. It's really good. I don't think there's another Fire Mon with 3-turn defense down on 3-star. On 3-star specifically. Like, I know Fire Succubus has 3-turn defense down on her 5-star with books, so there's that. Anyway, by the way, it is early in the morning that I'm recording this. It's like 9, and there's people in my house still sleeping, so I'm speaking a little bit quieter than normal, so just thought I'd let you guys know that. But anyway, here's Water Nezha. It's really cool, really cute, really pretty. I love the hair and all that, but the variant is so good. Oh. And see, like, the hair, both the hairs are blue. It's just like the variant one is like blue tinted, you know? It looks black, but like if you give it a closer look, it's like a really dark blue. Oh, so good. Looking at her stats though, she's a balanced type. She has really good HP, and then her defense and attack are a bit low, but it's alright. It's pretty good for a Nat 4 still. Looking at her skills, she has a 70% 2-turn attack down on 3 stars, same thing as fire, and skill books give it the same, bring it up to 20%, bring it up to 80% and give it 20% damage boost. And then on her 5 star, she has blind, 70% 2 turns. Skill books bring it up to 80% and give a 20% damage boost there as well. And of course, just looking at this, she's clearly a Titan debuffer. And you'd want to build her accordingly, so like HP defense or HP defense. Because her defense is higher than fire Nezha's, I feel like HP defense would be better for her, just to give her a bit more survivability. So yeah, there's that. And I should point out though that even though she is a Watermon, because she has blind, she'll excel against Light Titan specifically. Like you can use Fire Nezha against Light Titan, it'll do very well. But Water Nezha would also do very well there just because blind is amazing against Light Titan, considering that it has a 100% crit rate, bringing that down to 50%, and then trinkets on top of that, bringing it down lower. It's very helpful for your survivability, so definitely recommend building her. Now light, oh sorry about the notification there guys. The reason I don't use my water one anymore is because I do have Light Nezha, and she does a very similar thing. We'll get to Light later, but I just want to say that so that you don't think that I'm not using her because she's bad. She is really good. So, yeah. I definitely recommend using her if you don't have good debuffers. Well, attack down and blind specifically. Also, the reason I don't use her on my water team is because I have 2 water Indras, and they have a better attack down. I would have used her for Light Titan after that, but then I have Light Nezha, who's a blind mon, but we'll get there. We'll get to her soon. So anyway, here we have wood. Really like the orange hair, and the green for the skirt. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I'm gonna turn off my bringer. Sorry about that. Okay. Here's the variant. This is a tough one. Like, I like the discs for the variant, but I like everything else for the regular. I'm gonna go with the regular. Yeah. Anyway, looking at the stats, she's an attacker. Her HP is really good for a attacker, and her defense is pretty good as well. Her attack is good too. It'd be nice if it was like 3,300, but that's alright. It's alright. She's still very good either way. Looking at her skills, she has HP Siphon on 3 star, and she has Seal, 60% 1 turn on her 5 star. Skill books bring that up to 70% 2 turns and give a 15% damage boost. Oh, and on the 3 star, she gets a 30% damage boost from books there. So she is really good. First non-Titan mon from the Nezhas. Where you could use her, PvP, specifically offense, farming, any place with water mons. You can use her as Titans for an attacker early to like mid game if you don't have any good CS or US mons. But she'll definitely fall off there in terms of damage. So use her in the beginning, but you're gonna eventually want to replace her on your Titan team. And then also you can use her for Dark Colossus if you go the HP Siphon method that I've been using. I showcased it in my Dark Colossus video a few weeks ago. So there is that as well. She'd do really well there. And how I would build her, I'd build her fully offensive. Personally, I would probably go crit rate attack. She does have HP Siphon on her 3 star, just like Fire Succubus and Fire Wildfang, which are 2 mons that I also recommended. Crit rate attack, and that's how I have both of my mons built for that. I will eventually be building my wood Nezha that same build. She's only like Evo 2 right now, and I haven't put any gems on her yet, but anyway, you'll see that when we get there. But that's the one I recommend first. But then also crit rate attack, crit damage is also very good. Attack crit damage can work as well since she isn't crit required. And then if you want to put a survivability gem on her, I would definitely recommend going with a defense gem over an HP gem, just because if her HP is too high, she won't be healing as much from her 3-star, so you got to keep that in mind. So like crit rate attack defense would be better for her than crit rate attack HP. So there's that as well. And yeah, let's go on to light real quick. And let's see, I have no clue where light would be on this. Let's see. There she is. Okay. So here we have light Nezha. There's the regular. Look at all those yellows. And here is the variant. No, I double clicked. There's the variant. I really love the variant. It's so good. So good. Looking at her stats, she's a tank just like fire, except the defense and attack are pretty much flipped. So fire would be doing a little bit more damage than light, but light has more survivability, which is what you want from both of them anyway. So stat-wise, you would think that she is better than fire, but skill-wise, they do very different things. So both of them are definitely very usable. So looking at light skills, we have blind on her 3-star, 80% 3 turns, books bring it up to 90% and give a 20% damage boost. And then she has weaken on her 5-star, 80% 2 turns, skill books bring it up to 90 and give a 20% damage boost. She did used to have something else on her 3-star. I don't remember what, but it used to be I'm pretty sure she used to be sap on her 5-star. I meant to be talking about her 5-star there, not her 3-star. Her 3-star I'm pretty sure was always blind, but the weaken used to be sap, I think. Pretty sure. But changing it to weaken was a very good buff because weaken is very helpful for Titans. Very, very helpful. Which is where you want to use her anyway. Especially against Light Titan and Dark Titan to an extent. Just reducing the Light Titan's crit rate down to 50% is very helpful. And then reducing the crit damage on the Dark Titan is helpful there as well. Very good. And then, of course, weaken is there to help lower the defense and attack of the Titans, so you can do more damage and have more survivability with your Courageous Strike mons. It's very, very nice. And how I would build her HP, HP defense, HP defense, defense. Either of those could work well with her. So there is that. She is really good. I recently started using mine for my LD Titan teams. It's really good, and I should note that her animation speed times well with Light Sherlock's exposed weakness. So if you have them in the same group, she won't steal the exposed weakness. So I should point that out as well. Like for my Light Dark Titan teams, I have on the left side, I have my Light Nezha, a Light Sherlock, and then a Fire Odin and a healer, which usually if I'm using my Fire Mons, like if I know I'm not attacking Wood Titan, I'll be using my Fire Pixie there because I know she won't be stealing Sherlock's animation. Stealing Sherlock's exposed weakness, sorry. So that's something to point out. And then you have a fast Courageous Strike Mon on the right side, and they'll be getting that exposed weakness on top of the attack down that you can get from Fire Odin and the blind and the weaken that you can get from Nezha. And then also defense down from Odin as well. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But anyway, here we have Dark, the final of the Nezhas, definitely not least. And I really love both the designs, both the color schemes for the variant and the regular. So it is very, very, very hard for me to choose. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm sorry, I can't. Mine is a variant, and I only did it because of the leader skill is good. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. Or I don't know if I would have done it or not. Oh, it's such a tough decision, man. Anyway, looking at her skills, she's an attacker. Her attack is a little higher. Her attack and defense are a little higher than Wood Nezha's. but her HP is about 2k lower, which isn't bad. So she has a little bit more damage, and her survivability is probably can end up being around the same. So it's nothing too major. Looking at the skills, she has HP Siphon on 3-star, and skill books give it a 30% damage boost. I should point out though that for Dark Nezha it is attacks greatly restore, whereas for Wood it's just attacks restore. So the multiplier on the Siphon is higher for Dark Nezha. So her 3-star skill is slightly better. Then looking at the 5-star, it is defense down 80% 3 turns, and skill books bring it up to give it an extra turn, so it's 80% 3 turns, and then 20% damage boost there. Personally, I would have liked if she got a, I don't know, like I think I'm just spoiled on Dark Succubus's 5-star being 100% 3-turn defense down on crit. I would have preferred, I think, if Dark Nezha had that skill too. Just because she's a dark attacker, you're going to be building her crit rate anyway. Speaking of builds, crit rate, attack, crit rate, attack, crit damage, all of those. You can even build her without crit rate just because she doesn't require it. Just crit rate helps because of her base 100 crit damage. So like attack, triple attack, attack, crit damage. And then, of course, also for her, same with Wood. If you're going to give a survivability gem, I definitely suggest going with defense over HP. Same thing, I'll always recommend that with HP Siphon Mons, just because they're easier to heal themselves to full if they have higher defense than HP. So yeah, there's that. Where I would use her, same places I would use Wood pretty much. I'd use her for PvP offense, farming. She'd be good for Titans early on for a dark attacker, if you need that for light Titan or whatever. And then also, if you need a backup defense down Mon, she's helpful there with that as well. And then also Dark Colossus, just because if you're going the HP Siphon method, she's really good for that. But then, in addition to what Wood Nezha can do, she can also be used in Light Colossus as a dark attacker, which is very helpful if you're going the nuking method. And then she could have use in DB10. I haven't tried mine out there, and I haven't done DB10 in like forever. But just being a dark attacker would be very helpful for her. Would be very helpful for you to get through it. And then the fact that she can heal herself with her 3-star is really good as well. If she doesn't get killed, like if you build her pretty well with trinkets, maybe I'd assume that she'll be able to survive a hit from the like Persephone on the first wave, barring the Persephone doesn't get a crit, and then the next turn you can just heal yourself up to full. So there's that. And then also, if you get your bar full by the time you get to the dragon, the defense down is helpful there as well, if you're not using like a Dark Thor or something. So she has use there too. And yeah, that's it for the builds of all of them. I will show the ones that I have now. So I do have, okay, my game just like went really slow. Let's go to kinds. Sweet, they're at the top. So I did take my water out of the box just to keep her here for you guys. So here's my Fire Nezha. I'll go like this view. So here's Fire. She's a variant, Evil 3. She's on HP, defense. She does have a lot of resist, and honestly, I would probably take those gems off of her just because she doesn't need resist. You don't really need resist when you're going against the Wood Titan, just because it doesn't have good debuffs, you know? Taunt doesn't really matter too much because it's only 2 turns. And for Fire Nezha, you're going to be wanting to use her 3-star anyway. So if she gets taunted, it's fine because she'll just be consistently going for that attack down. And then on the swipe attack, it has Buff Breaker, which doesn't matter if you're not using debuffs, which for Fire Titan, you're going to prefer a shield healer for the first line anyway, which is where I use my Fire Nezha. So yeah, I definitely should look into switching those gems around for something without as much crit rate, resist. Here's her stats with those gems, in case you wanted to see. Then anyway, here's the water one. Again, I don't have her built up at the moment. I don't know if I'll end up building her again. If I do, it's probably just going to be to have like a full Nezha lineup on PvP defense, just for fun. Like, that won't do anything. That is a terrible defense team, but it is just, it's a waifu wall, okay? Uh, anyway, yeah, so here's water. If I were to build her again, for her, I would go with resist. I would put a lot of resist on her just because against Fire Titan, you don't want her to get sapped if you have her on the front line. If you have her on the back line, though, resist isn't necessary just because thirst is fine, you know? Her blind isn't too necessary against the Fire Titan, and you would want her to be going for a 3-star anyway, so depending on where you put her would say where you want resist. As for against Light Titan, she doesn't need resist at all just because Light Titan's debuffs just focus on lowering damage, and you're not going to be having her there for damage anyway, so there's that. Here is my light Nezha. Actually, I'll go to the wood first. So I don't have my wood built yet. I'm working on getting her to Evo 3. You know, just slowly but surely getting there. So yeah, then here is light. She does have one skill book on her. I'm working on her books first, I think. Yeah, I'm working on her books first because I do use her for Light and Dark Titan, and getting that extra 10% chance for her debuffs would be very helpful there. Here's her gems, so got her HP, and defense, I believe. Yes. I don't know if she needs her resist as much as I gave her, now that I think about it. She doesn't need resist at all if you're using her against Light Titan, for the same reason that Water Nezha doesn't need resist against Light Titan. But against Dark Titan, I guess, resist would be very good if you're using her for Dark Titan, just because the silence would suck, so you wouldn't be able to get off your weaken, and then if you have her on the front line, the defense down would help kill her faster, which you definitely don't want. So yeah, if you're using her against Dark Titan, build her with as much resist as possible. So yeah, there's that. And then here is my Dark Nezha, the final one. I don't know who I'll prioritize for books after I finish Light. It's between Fire and Dark, obviously. I don't know who I'd go with just yet. I'll probably prioritize Fire, but then, yeah. Anyway, here she is. Here's her gems. She's on attack. Crit rate. Her crit rate is a bit low. It'd be nice to get it a little bit higher. I like having it over like 90%. Though 85, 84, it's alright. It's manageable. It's usable. Crit rate lead would put it to 100 anyway. I do have her trinkets upgraded, so there's that as well. And here's her final stats for you, in case you want to see it. Over 8k attack, really nice, really nice. And she has a really good amount of resist as well, even though I didn't gem her with resist in mind. I just got lucky with the subs, like this gem here, and this gem here. Though for this one, I would have preferred if that one boost in resist went into crit rate. That would have been better for her offensively. But having a decent amount of resist doesn't hurt, especially if you're using it for PvP. So, yeah. And if I were to prioritize the Nezhas, about which one you should get first, Fire definitely is the first one I would recommend. She's very helpful for Fire Titan. There will be a time when she's one of the best debuffers for Fire Titan in general. Her and Fire Odin, I think, are the top tier fire debuffers. But eventually she will fall off as you start to get more shinobis, you know, because like the highest damage team against Wood Titan is, I think, like just bunch of shinobis and healers, and then maybe a Poseidon on the left side, you know. But anyway, she is very helpful. I still use mine. She's very helpful there. My Fire Titan team is my weakest between the Fire, Water, Wood, though it still can hit, with good RNG, it still hits over 30 sometimes. So yeah, she's very helpful there. Then next, I think I would go with Dark. I don't know, it's a toss-up between light and dark. They do two very different things, but they're both very good at what they do. I guess I would go with dark, just because I love HP Siphon Mons, and dark attackers can be used in so many places, so she has so much more use, whereas light Nezha is a Titan-specific mon. She does really well against light and dark Titan, but you can really only use her there. She doesn't really do well anywhere else. So yeah, I would go fire, dark, light, and then I would go water, just because water is a very good debuffer for the fire Titan, and also against light Titan as well. So very good for you early game. And then wood isn't bad at all. She is a good mon, definitely, but dark does what she does better. So if you get dark, I would prioritize dark over wood. But if you don't, then and you need a good wood HP Siphon mon and you don't have wood Odin or whatever, very helpful there. Very good mon. So yeah, fire, dark, light, water, wood is how I would prioritize getting them. I'm building them all, as you can see, because she's so good. She's so cute. Anyway, I'm going to wrap the video up there. Have yourselves all a good day, and I will see you guys all in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Forgot to say that. Should have said that first. Anyway, okay. Bye-bye.